Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers easily look like one of the best teams in football in week one. And their reward is to play the Washington Commanders to truly test what this team is made of. Now, continuing on the Green Bay narrative, because the Packers, when they brought in Micah Parsons, all the talk was about Super Bowl. This team has the capability, but it's like, well, you got to go out there and test that against the reigning NFC North champs. Like, you got to beat them first to be able to establish yourselves and talk about it. Well, they went out there and did it. They looked faster than the Lions. They looked tougher. They looked more physical than Detroit in week one. They were able to dominate the trenches. Offensive line was able to get pushed to generate enough pass protection opportunities for Jordan Love to be able to find his wide receivers downfield. Beautiful deep ball from Love to Dobbs. Obviously, Washington, watching the film for that game, is going to be saying, all right, we need to play some good football. We need to have a couple of days of practice on this short week to get ready for Green Bay, because this is an offense that is completely different than what the New York Giants' capabilities are. All the Giants do is drop back and try and get the ball to number one. They just try and get the ball to Malik Neighbors. They gave him 12 targets. They hit him for a couple of plays. Yes, it was flashy from time to time. You look at Green Bay, there are 6 different guys that Matt LaFleur tries to allocate the football to. And of course, their identity isn't even that passing attack from Jordan Love. They want to run the football. And Josh Jacobs is that top 5-6 back in the National Football League the couple of seasons. He's got that streak of 9 straight touchdown games with a touchdown to get the ball to. Right? The offense runs through Josh Jacobs. When you're able to maintain the point of attack and have your quarterback, Jordan Love, not make the big mistake, that's what we were looking for in year 3 for Jordan Love as a starter. We saw good things in 2023. Last year in 2024, obviously, some of the mistakes and good things as well. Couldn't really beat the tougher opponents. But in year 3 so far, it looks like that week 1 game, we have positive signs. He didn't make the bad mistake, and he didn't even really put the football in harm's way while still attacking every blade of grass on the football field, putting the ball in great locations where it's his wide receiver's ball or nobody's. So Washington, immediately I'm thinking about the former Michigan Wolverine, that guy that's used to Big Ten football that can go out there and play physical. That's Mikey Sanderstill. He's my favorite player in the secondary for the Commanders. A great player. And they're able to pick up Trey Amos out of Ole Miss. So obviously some of that SEC matchups on the outside. Trey Amos going up against Malik Neighbors. For you college football fans, I'm sure that was fun getting to see that. Obviously, we follow a lot of college football with Blitz with Blender, the videos we make, and obviously that content's great on Saturdays to watch. And so to see that was a whole bunch of fun. But on the side of things for this particular matchup, Jordan Love is going to have to do everything he did in week 1, if not better. Because I guarantee you this, Washington is going to punch Green Bay in the mouth. They do not care what they did to Detroit in week 1. Heck, they even did the same thing to Detroit when they met them in the divisional game in Detroit's place. On the fast track there in Detroit in the playoffs, they looked faster. That was without the addition of Deebo Samuel. Yeah, Packer fans, cover your ears. The same Deebo Samuel that knocked you out of the playoffs when you had the 1 seed in that divisional round a couple of seasons ago with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that performance, he's playing with a hurt hamstring, a hurt hit, his knee, he's got a twisted ankle, he's got 8 different body parts hurting, and he's playing through that 3rd and 7, picks up a first down on the ground. Robbie Gould hits a game-winning 48-yard field goal. Yeah, that same Deebo Samuel. I'm sorry to take you down memory lane, but Washington Commander fans, that's what you're getting. I know there's all this talk that Deebo Samuel is lazy, that Deebo Samuel has lost a step. I haven't seen any of that. He looked like the same explosive guy that breaks tackles. You can hand him the ball, you can get him the football in space, going to have the ability to catch the football and gain yards after the catch. All of that presents a challenge. And if I'm thinking about a game plan, if I'm Dan Quinn, I'm like, yeah, let's use that guy that Matt LaFleur obviously is very familiar with. There's also another player in this game that you're going to have to game plan for. And yes, of course, we're saying the obvious. Micah Parsons. He will not have the ability to be out there for every snap. That's not even what he's ever going to do. He's not a middle linebacker, right? He's an edge player that's better at getting after the passer than he is defending the run. He's getting better, though. He's developing. He's flashed, showing traits that he can be an every down back and be a great every down player, be a great every down player. He comes up with his first career sack with the Green Bay Packers in his first career games. Didn't even play much at all, really, in the first half. Still is able to make a splashy play in that stadium. I mean, when have we ever seen a stadium that hyped up, that deep in the game, when the winning result was not in doubt? So Washington, you know Micah Parsons well. You've gone up against him. Jayden Daniels knows Micah Parsons, obviously. Micah was banged up a little bit last year, but Washington knows Micah Parsons and what he is capable of. So these new additions, obviously, to this offensive line, Tunsil, Josh Connerly, that they brought in, the offensive line has to hold up against the Packers. They lost Kenny Clark, but the defensive line still looked really good for Green Bay after losing him, even though Kenny Clark did look good against the Philadelphia Eagles in week 1. They have to add that in. But Bullard, Rashawn Gary at the other edge spot opposite, he's able to come up with, he had a sack and a half, tackle for loss in that game. Lucas Van Ness flashed a little bit of the ability. Remember, they were going to have to rely on that leap from Lucas Van Ness in year 2 when it's like, all right, we got Micah Parsons now. We can just bring in Lucas Van Ness as a rotational player or put him on that defensive line with Micah. Both of them getting after the passer, putting in some different, really fun packages, some personnel substitutions, having some fun with it as the Packers move out throughout the season and seeing all of that. So Jayden Daniels, as far as what the game plan is, I'm running the football right at Micah Parsons. I want to establish a tone of physicality. We're not afraid of you, number one, and we are going to go right at number one. Now, Jayden Daniels, should he himself run at Micah Parsons? No, that's not what we're recommending. Jayden Daniels is one of the best athletes on any single athletic atmosphere, any field or court he will step onto. We saw a little bit of that ability, right? 11 carries, 68 yards in the first game of the season, starting to get those legs a little bit fresher. 19 of 30, pretty dang efficient, 233 yards and a touchdown. The game never really seemed that much in doubt against the Giants. Was it the cleanest game in the world? No. Did they look perfect on offense or defense? No. But they still held the New York Giants to 6, and that game at no point had any Washington Commander fan all that nervous because, like we talked about, like the defensive line looked good. Yes, we understand that. They were able to come up with a couple of sacks. They had 3 sacks, right? Thibodeau looked pretty good. Brian Burns looked pretty good. The youngster, the rookie, and Abdul Carter, all those guys on that front looked good, but Washington just looked like they had more players, they had more experience, and they knew what to do. The scheme that they're running with Jayden, getting him those completions. Cliff Kingsbury has done a fantastic job and continues to do a great job developing Jayden, establishing the completions for him early to get him in rhythm and so that he can build confidence. That's what they need to do against Green Bay. Look, it's a Thursday night game. The crowd is going to be wild. That atmosphere will be one of the best that we see the entire season in the National Football League. You could argue that this thing might even be an SEC type atmosphere, something that Jayden was used to down there at LSU. That Green Bay is going to bring it. That 70,000 plus stadium is going to be screaming their lungs out because this is a big matchup. I mean, Packers, Commanders, we're talking about 2 teams that want to take that jump. Both of them finished not where they wanted to in the division, and they want to take that step. The Packers want to get to the NFC Championship game or better beyond it. The Commanders say, we got to the NFC Championship game last year. This is the year we take the step and get back into the Super Bowl. And both teams have the rights to say that with the way that they looked week 1, but only one team can win this matchup, obviously. Now, for Green Bay in the secondary, this is an area that I'm pretty sure that a lot of their fans know very well about. And for some Commander fans, I'm pretty sure some of them don't even know that Jair Alexander isn't there and that he's a Baltimore Raven now. This secondary led by McKinney and Keshawn Nixon, they are talented. They take the football away. They're opportunistic. They come up and tackle. All of it is going to be disguised. They're moving guys at the snap. They're making it tough on you. We're going to see a lot more of that again on a young quarterback that's trying to diagnose coverages. Obviously, your eyes go first to the safeties, looking at what coverage they're in. And so what you can do as an advantage as a defensive coordinator is obviously disguising that. And so that is going to change. The coverage that you're running, the defense you're running changes once the ball is snapped. An advanced defense that has young players but that are talented and smart guys like Green Bay has are going to be able to implement that. So I would assume immediately that if I'm a Green Bay fan, that I'm like, all right, this is what we're going to expect. And if I'm a Commander fan, all right, that is exactly what we think they're going to do. So you have the little chess match and what is actually going to be thrown out there. Do your eyes tell the real story? Are you being tricked? Because we have very smart defensive coaches. We've got good offensive mind play in this game. Obviously, Matt LaFleur, one of the best in the game. Kingsbury has brought himself all the way back after some of the struggles he had there with the dynamic Kyler Murray as the head coach in Arizona, although he didn't have a bunch of success. An early lean in this game. What am I thinking as far as who wins? Well, of course, the spread is 47.5. I'm actually thinking of going under on that. I know both of these teams offensively looked great, but still didn't put up a ton of points. The Packers wound up with only 27, Commanders with 21. So I'm thinking that the defensive football and what they showed in week 1 and flashed on the defensive front, the secondary, in the front 7 will allow this game to be a bit lower scoring. So I have a 23-20 Green Bay Packer win. They're favored by 3.5. I don't think that they cover the 3.5, but I have them beating Washington at home at Lambeau 23-20. Now, if you're a Washington Commander fan and that's upsetting you, listen, there's no shame if you have that result as long as Jayden continues to show strides and you get a pass rush. The main thing I would say about Washington this year is we know what's looming. What's looming is Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts and having to cover A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on the outside. We start with the Green Bay Packers with not an equated talent level, because I don't know if anyone is an equated talent level to what the Philadelphia Eagles have. But the Green Bay Packers are dang close. And that back is good. That offensive line is very good. Those weapons that they have in a good tight end in Kraft and Dobbs and Reed and the kid they brought in Golden, they have all of those playmakers with speed and they're able to stretch the field. They bring on the new kid in Williams, right? So they have a bunch of weapons to use. It sounds a lot like Philadelphia. So you can play them tight. It would be a fine game. Obviously, they're going to go out there. They can prove me wrong and win this game. I think Green Bay wins this game because Jordan Love continues the trend of what he showed week 1 throughout flashes he's had in his first year as a starter and last year of playing highly aggressive football without turning it over. I see Jayden Daniels with a turnover in this game, and I actually see Micah Parsons with a game-changing play that's able to flip this game. Maybe 13-10 Washington. He comes up with a strip sack, maybe forces a ball that he's able to get pressure in Jayden Daniels' face and forces a throw into tight coverage, and it's intercepted or inaccurate. That's the player that Micah Parsons has the ability to display. So I believe that we can see that. Appreciate you so much. Let me know down below in the comments what your prediction is, who you think wins this game, and why. Let me know if you want me to talk a little bit more about some of the college guys like in these matchups. Obviously, Micah Parsons, the Penn State background, and go into a little bit more. Obviously, I produce a ton of college content weekly, so you can catch all of that there. But I love the intersection between the college guys out there. Obviously, Trey Amos and Malik Neighbors was a fun matchup for the Giants and Commanders week 1. But I'm digressing a little bit. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Stay tuned for more videos coming out daily, and I will see you next time. Thank you.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder. Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Blunder.
To the 40, 35, 30. Espinosa to the 20.